Okay, so this question is asking you, is the following statement true or false? If false, you have to give an explanation. And the statement is that a high p-value shows that the null hypothesis is true. Now, clearly I can't just tell you what the answer is, but I can guide you to some information that will help. Specifically, the p-value is a need for probability. We want to find the probability of seeing data like these, and essentially that is assuming that the null hypothesis is correct. And that's when you get the p-value. So if the null hypothesis is correct, the p-value is really a probability that's related to that being the case. A low enough p-value says that the data we have observed would be very unlikely if our null hypothesis were true. So that's going to be a strong hint as to whether or not the statement is true or false. If the statement is false, you need to decide which of these three is the situation, and you want to recall that the p-value is the probability of observing a value for a test statistic at least as far from the hypothesized value as the statistic value actually observed if the null hypothesis is true. So the p-value comes about with an assumption that the null hypothesis is true. Now, if that p-value, which is a probability, is extremely small, and that's what they say, when you see a low p-value, you should reject the null hypothesis. So it means therefore that a small p-value indicates that the statistic observed would be unlikely were the null hypothesis true. A large p-value would indicate that there is insufficient evidence to doubt the null hypothesis. So that's the real crux of the matter. If this probability is small, it means it's unlikely that our assumption, which is the null hypothesis, is correct. If p is large, then the assumption, which is the null hypothesis, is correct. So this here is on page 304 of the text if you want to do some further reading to see if you can figure out if the statement is false, which of these would be the reason why it's false, and you want to make sure you are looking at that. Alright, it's hard to give any more specific guidance on this without literally telling you the answer, but I think I've guided you to the text that has it, and hopefully the tips that I have provided will help. Alright, thank you.